Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Hold the Mic. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead. That's Ian Sherman. Brother, how are you doing?
Bop, 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 bop. I'm on my major. Actually, I didn't realize I wore green. I'm on my major pain. I'm on
Yep,
my major pain today. Bow. If you don't know that movie, gotta love the
you're missing
Wayans
out.
brothers.
You're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing on a classic. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to fight for some reason. Little aggression and some jokes.
Justifiably so, I think.
Yeah.
I think the aggression and anger is justifiable at this point. So just want to say hello to all the lovely people who support us, as well as all the MAGA people who have been very upset with me for the last 24 hours.
Hi, haters.
Yeah, I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. So let's move on. What I think we should
Welcome to
really
the party.
start with, speaking of jokes, hey, Bunny,
What up, Buns?
the White House has turned into a bit of a, let me rephrase, the White House social media accounts have turned into a bit of a comedic timeline, if you will, or they're trying to be comedians. I don't know.
Okay,
What
okay.
what would you
That's
what would
something.
you consider it?
You know, I just you know, these are the people with the hand on the red button. That's all. That's all.
just,
You know,
just keep that in
failed at
mind.
comedy, failed at reality TV, failed at a lot of things, and here they are, hand on the red
Yeah.
button.
Um,
Nothing to see here.
yeah, it really is pretty terrible. Just to give you guys an idea of some of the ridiculousness that we're talking about. This is from the White House from May 4th. Now, fitting that so many people have pointed out that the lightsaber is red instead of,
Yeah.
green or even purple.
Yellow,
But no, you
or
couldn't
neutral.
have purple. Purple, yeah. Purple.
There's only one with purple. Don't
Only
get
one
twisted.
man gets purple.
Oh
and
yeah.
he ain't Samuel L.
If
Jackson.
he ain't
That's for
calling
sure.
you a motherfucker, then you ain't getting it.
But
No, but I couldn't even put tits on them. Like seriously, like you guys had to make him have a chest. Like, come on, at least
and that's
make
the
it
thing.
more.
They talk about the left can't meme. It's like we can meme. We just don't meme cringy ass shit like that.
Well, this is
Like-
this is just bad comedy. Like this is come on.
Like, come on, dude's like way overweight. Like not even close to that. Like if they made him skinny, I'd be like, okay, that you took
Seen him-
20, 30, 50 pounds off. Okay. But
Seen him in a
you got him
t-shirt.
looking like The Rock, after a gym session.
Well, this is the part where I just sit here and I go, there was a person who actually made this and like actually thought this is cool. So I mean,
Again,
whatever. Oh, this is what I find really interesting about these memes and everything, because clearly he didn't do it, but he has a team who can do this. You're right.
yeah.
I mean,
right.
when you have a team of people called big balls, somebody in there can make a meme, right? That's a reality. I know the best people, but here's a kicker: the Pope wasn't even dead for what, a week, and this was popped out. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it just shows you that money and power do not buy class. That's all this shit.
Right. And I mean, on top of it being classless, so many Christian, Catholic,
Yeah.
faith people voted for Donald Trump. So,
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, are you guys okay with this? I mean, I have to ask the question that we've begun asking on this show so often, which is,
Imagine if
It's so good. Oh, it's
I
just so
mean,
good. Yeah.
if Biden had the White House start putting out photos of him dressed as the Pope, can
I'll
you
be
imagine
honest.
what MAGA would have done?
Ryan, I'll be honest. I don't remember any of Biden's days, man. I don't remember his first 100 days. I don't remember. I know
either.
a lot. I know
He
a lot
signed some
happened.
executive orders. Yeah.
I know things happen. I know that he got us out of the worst recession because of a global pandemic. I remember that,
Yep.
but I don't remember play by play every week. But yeah, but everybody took this and ran with it. And like I saw one that actually made me laugh so hard, which was him in a diaper in that outfit. And I was like, wow. Like, I mean, once you put it on the internet, I'm sorry, it's there forever. But here's a
Forever.
kicker. Here's a kicker for you. These postings that they have been putting on the official White House page
Yeah.
are literally in the archives now of this government. As in the
God.
history
I hadn't even thought of that.
of
It's going to
the
get preserved.
history of our beautiful country. These actual memes are going to be documented for all to see. All historians.
Forever.
That's right. So let that sink in.
They're going to be looking at the cave walls one day and they're going to go, wow.
Who was this asshole?
Who's this prick? So orange.
He's like, but he's the worst president. And oh, we get it. We get it. It's all there. It's all there documented.
Definitely top 3 worst. I mean, my opinion, worst. But these are the ones that have really kind of pissed me off because they're clearly using the Obama
color scheme and style and
yeah. It's the whole brand that he used.
I wonder if there's going to be a cease and desist letter.
Yep. Like literally, look, it's got Obama's thing right here.
Yep.
So it's like, and to them,
I didn't even know these. I did not even know.
So to them, this got the White House seal on it, the White House thing, literally on their account. That's why I wanted to show it directly from my Twitter because I didn't want people being like, "Oh, you screenshot from." This is from the White House's account right here, and it's the official one with the gray seal. So don't sit there and say that we're spreading misinformation or whatever. This is coming out of our White House. This one, okay. I think it's cheesy, whatever, but I can at least let that go. But when you start doing this shit, that's where I have a real big problem.
Well, Nazis did this. I'm just gonna say it. This
100%.
is the propaganda. This is literally the 100%. Propaganda. This is in full fledged, just putting it out there. This is how they try to control the narrative, and the fact that you're talking about him being MS-13 on the knuckles, it's like that was Photoshop. Either Trump is an idiot or he's too old.
Yeah.
Or he's great at playing an idiot, but he comes off stupid because he's too old. Those are your options. Those are all your options. That's it. You know, I give him great credit.
Hello, Elena.
Great master manipulator.
I hope I get to see you at the reunion in a few months. Thanks for stopping in and supporting us. See, we have high school friends that stop in and support us, which is always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely on our side. She likes our stuff quite a bit. So with that, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you guys don't miss an episode. We're usually on somewhere between 8 and 8:15 every Wednesday.
Yeah, at least we show up, okay? We're here for your dinner time.
We produce it on our own. If we had producers and stuff, we'd be right on time.
Fuck that. I would still make us late. Let's go. Let's go.
That might be true. But no, so thank you all for the support, especially during this crazy time. I know a lot of us get very burnt out with the politics. Ian and I think, are both kind of in one of those spells right now, where we're just kind of overrun because so much of running a podcast doing this is about keeping up with everything, seeing all the videos, knowing what everybody's talking about. And when it was, like Ian said, when it was a Biden administration, I don't want to say we were looking for stories, but it wasn't as crazy as it is now. Like, we don't have to go looking for stories. Like, we have to get rid of 10 stories every show we're doing now. And it wasn't like that under Biden because there wasn't this massive, just craziness and unorganization and deregulation. And it's just crazy. So, that's why, the title of the episode is what it is. It's all about manipulation and distraction. That's all it is right now. So they can get the things done that they want to get done. Yeah.
It's interesting because, and the thing is, thank you, Amy. Thank you for making us feel
so nice,
warm and gushy on the inside. The reason why we are late though, is because we actually were like adjusting the outline because it's like, there's so much that's coming in. And I said to you earlier, I actually turned off the news for the week. I knew stuff was going to get through to me, stuff that actually mattered. But like all the memes and all the bullshit and the distraction, I tuned all that out. I was focusing on the real stuff that was actually going on. And we'll jump into some of those items that are on the list. But it's, from this to like the Alcatraz, all this flood of bullshit. Even him painting it as in like, the only people who are mad about me being Pope, which I didn't create, but I posted it, is the libs. And it's like, no, there's actual Catholics who are really upset. Like, people are in mourning right now. They just started the next Pope. And
it shows they don't understand the reverence around what's happening right now.
I disagree. It shows they
Really?
lack empathy. Yes, they lack
Okay.
empathy. They don't
Okay.
care. They don't care.
Well, no, I agree with that.
We keep trying to
Yeah.
give them that, like, oh, they just maybe they're student. No, they don't care. They want to twist the knife, and they don't care. They don't care if
Yeah.
they deport
No, that's true.
Americans. They don't care if they break up families. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They do not care. They don't even care about their own constituents.
Yeah.
Literally, look at anybody in North Carolina, in any of the states that were hit heavily by the flooding and all the hurricanes. Took FEMA. They don't care. They do not care. So
Nope.
here we are.
And what did they defund today? Oh, Harvard or whatever. Oh my God, that letter. If you did, you probably didn't read it. There's a letter.
I saw the corrections.
Did you see the corrections? It was beautiful. The letter was so bad. Secretary of Education.
Linda McMahon,
A1
literally,
sauce.
who's been running WWE, WWF, whatever the WWE, that's what it's called now, that organization this entire time, drafted this letter. Take it away, Ryan.
I mean, I think I have a thing of the letter, but yeah, they sent a letter to Harvard. It was long. It was like a diatribe, basically, and it was very poorly written. It definitely was not something you would expect from a woman running
head of education.
Yeah, head of our education. Makes sense why they want to just shut it down, because I don't think she wants the job.
Man. She wants people who don't know how to read to have that letter. That's what it is.
Oh, that's
a lot of words that
it.
meant nothing, and I love the fact that they went through with a red pen, the blasted red pen, and just let her know about herself. And then they posted it. Is that what they did?
Oh yeah,
that's who they put it on.
I don't know. I don't know who posted it, but I'm pretty sure Harvard put it on their thing.
All I got to say to you is, you want to talk about trolling somebody? That's how you do it. No one cares about a meme about you being a pope. No one cares about you. This right here.
So here's
gold.
The letter's actually, I think, 2 or 3 pages. So this is just the first page, but yeah, it's beautiful. Like I said,
everything
you can see,
you need to know.
It was very poorly written. Yeah, so they had fun with it, which is amazing. But the most important part, why we're all just laughing about it and whatever. But I think people need to realize that Harvard is one of the leading, if not the leading, schools in cancer research.
Yeah.
So, when you're taking funding away from places like that, you're hurting actual Americans. You're hurting healthcare. You guys are playing stupid ass games, and you're trying to hurt the people that actually know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. I would really hate for Trump or his administration to die of cancer. I mean, that would just be so poetic, though. Didn't have the research.
It's going to be diabetes or cholesterol for Trump.
Or gravity. I'm rooting on gravity for 2025.
You said it, brother. You said it.
Rooting on it. The way these planes are falling, I'm rooting on it.
Speaking of gravity, I'd like to talk a little bit about, we had a second F-18 go into the Red Sea.
Stop it.
Yeah, we had a second one. Now,
what?
I want to be fair here, because of course, what the easy thing to do would be to just take it and run and attack Pete Hegseth. Well, I'll probably still attack Pete Hegseth, but I am going to be fair in the reporting of this. So today's F-18 mishap was a F-18F model, which is the newer models of the F-18. So when they give you like A, B, C models, where I think about 30 million was the most expensive.
Okay.
When you get into the E, F, and I think G, I think it goes to G models. And but when you get up into those newer models, they call them Super Hornets. Those tend to be around $50 to $60 million a pop. So both of these aircrafts over the 2 weeks that have gone into the Red Sea, one was an E model, the other was an F model. So they're both the more expensive of the aircrafts that we can have, unfortunately. So
we're just throwing money into the ocean is what you're talking
about. Well, okay. So again, today's seems to be a little different. So what it sounds like happened was they came in to land on the aircraft carrier. They were piloting the plane, and something happened with the catch, the tow catch that's supposed to catch the plane and slow them down. So something happened with that. It malfunctioned. So basically, they, instead of stopping like they were supposed to, they just went over the edge. So they actually had to eject as they were going over the edge of the aircraft carrier. They're both okay. I think one sustained some injuries, but they are both okay. So you know, in that instance, you'd rather see the aircraft go than the pilots. You know, every time.
I just, you know, I don't remember hearing these stories when we had DEI in our military.
You know, yeah, Pete Hegseth came out and said they're getting rid of, what, 20% of our generals?
You know,
they got rid of, Hitler.
1938, 39,
Yep.
they started removing generals.
Yep. And,
all those who had the experience to say, no, sir.
Yep. So, and again, we're not trying, Ian and I aren't trying to start a cult, and we don't mind being fact checked. So go see who the chairman of the Joint Chiefs was when Trump took office, and then see who he fired him for.
Yeah.
And what you're going to find is that the black chairman of the Joint Chiefs that they fired, what was CQ Brown, I think is his name. I'd have to look it up, but they fired him. And this man was extremely qualified, was a historic appointment, and they fired him for General Kane, who they needed to get a waiver for because he did not meet the job qualifications. So the reason they got rid of the one general was because he was a black DEI general who was pushing DEI policies in the military in favor of somebody that they had to get a waiver for so that he could have the job.
I mean, you couldn't even see.
Let that marinate for a second.
Chest. You couldn't even see Brown's chest with all those medals. Everything. It was bow.
He was
like
soldier.
Like he had every color on there. And this mediocre white boy who took over, for him to get the hall pass tells you everything about this government.
Yep.
But here's the thing. If shit
baby.
hits the fan, Ryan, if shit hits the fan, and by that I mean, like, if we're attacked or things, we need to mobilize. I mean, clearly, you know, we're gonna put our plans on Signal, so the world's gonna know what the fuck we're thinking. But if if something happens and we need to mobilize, do we have the right people in play that are gonna know how to handle a situation? You know what I mean? Like, really know how to bring people together, get things moving, strategize, do all this. Like, is this? At what point does the loyalty? Is it the stick in the front pegs of your, front of your tire, your wheel? You know, that meme is perfect.
100%. That's
at what point are we just jamming that stick in the front and then blaming everybody else?
Yeah. I mean, a key, what was it? Secretary of Transportation came out and said something about, they never said anything about this when Pete Buttigieg was, air traffic controllers. He came out and said, now all of a sudden Democrats are worried about air traffic controllers. It's like, yeah, because they're walking out in groups. Like, they're going on trauma leave.
Go look at Newark.
Yeah.
Newark is shut down. Shut down.
Again, we're not trying to start a cult. Go research and fact check us. Use AI. Matter of fact, while you're at it, use Justice AI, who happens to sponsor this podcast. And also want to give a shout out to Christian Ortiz, who is the creator of Justice AI. It is his birthday today, so we wanna wish Christian a big happy birthday here.
Oh man, happy birthday!
But
I ate my cake, my card for you, so I don't have a card for you.
But yeah, guys, Justice AI has been it's been a really nice platform to get to know, and I'm really. We're really fortunate that they sponsor us because we use the tool now so often when we're working behind closed doors to get the show put together. So yeah, Justice AI, you can go Google it, and I'm pretty sure we have the link in our bios and whatnot. But yeah, go check that out because my favorite thing you can do is say decolonize. Did I say that right? Decolonize this answer. Decolonize. Thank you. Yeah. Decolonize this answer. So if you type that in, the whole point of this AI is to take out bias, take out political bullshit, and just make it be as close to factual as possible. And that's one of the reasons I love it is Christian went into this with the whole idea of, great. He saw the potential of AI, but he also saw the potential of there's still being, prejudice and bias programmed into it, whitewashing particularly.
Yeah.
And so he created a program that filled those gaps. And when I tell you, when he sits down and goes through it, because I think Ian and I we scratch the surface of what this thing can actually do.
Yeah.
And when he sits down and goes through it with us, like Ian and I are always like, holy crap. Like it does a lot of amazing stuff. So
yeah,
go check that out. Happy birthday, Christian. We love you, brother.
Love you, my
waiting for
man.
you to come back on the show. And what's this? Did you guys see the guy who was sent deportation notice, who was decorated veteran, served for the hope of citizenship, and left all his medals on the U.S. side of the border? Yeah, I saw that.
This is crazy. What we're talking about somebody who served in our armed forces, who is technically a brother of yours in arms.
Yeah, it's even more personal for me. My father-in-law, that's how he got his citizenship. That's how my wife got here. My wife's the first generation American. Her dad was born in Grenada, and then he served the country for 27 years.
Yeah.
But that's how he got his citizenship. And he served for 27. My brother-in-law served for 26. My wife served for 22. This is a family who's given, decades of service to this country. And to sit back and watch people that I know are exactly like them, that have the exact, very similar or exact same story that they have, and to see them treated this way, to see people that came and served our country in hopes of becoming a part of the American dream, a part of our great country, and to see them get treated like this by draft dodging cowards who couldn't even serve when their number was called. So I don't blame the gentleman. It's very disheartening. And, again, all the 70% of, veterans and military people that voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, this is what you voted for. You voted for, and I told you this was going to happen. I'm going to say that I told you so today. I told you that they were going to end up deporting people that served in our military that were trying to get citizenship. And I got laughed at. That can't happen. That was another one of those that's not going to happen.
Right.
Okay.
They're never going to do that. Okay. All right. There's a lot of FAFO that's really in full effect it's wild to me, Ryan, because it's in stages of people in their own personal lives. And by that, it's the vet. It's going to be soon the truck driver, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't see it, but it's like, it's right down the road. Like, here it is. We no longer now, as of last week, are receiving any shipments from China. And it's like, so yes, your last shipment was busy. You had a full route with all the goods that you were going to be moving around. Well, what happens next week? What happens at the end of this week? So it's like, it's I realize that people don't have it in them to see down the bend, just a mile down the road.
Yeah.
And it's like you take that into consideration
just
of
a week down.
Just a bottom of the nose.
Yep.
They ain't even seeing past the nose. Okay.
Nope.
And then of course we all know those who spite their face. So
Yeah.
when you look at the waves of this, like I said, in modern in current times, with those who are the immigrants, the Latin men who voted for Trump, these truck drivers, the firefighters, they stripped away the 9/11. How again, lack of empathy. How
that took them 20 years to get.
Have to be. Yeah. It just dawned on me. If we're gonna have a celebrity be a president, let's get Jon Stewart in there.
Oh, I've been saying that for years.
Let's just all of us third party Jon Stewart. Let's see what happens.
He's the closest thing I think we'd get to a middle
Vladimir
ground.
Zelensky?
Well,
I'm just saying, a person who was a comedian / actor.
In terms of that, yeah. But Jon Stewart is somebody that a lot of people, like almost everybody, loves because he cuts through the bullshit. He doesn't play a whole lot of red meat.
Yeah.
You know, like he really is. It is what it is. Like it's information. So,
Yeah.
you know, it becomes, how are you interpreting said information?
Right.
You know, like how many different ways can we interpret the Bible? How many versions have there been? How many ways are there to interpret the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence? You know, some of us think the Declaration of Independence is a loving document.
Right.
And some of us think it was, you know, about declaring our independence from the British Crown. But anyway, it's crazy to see all these people that don't have much knowledge. And I keep thinking about Obama when he says, you know, when you get into the room with all these world leaders and people and CEOs, and, you know, you would think that all of them are going to be, you know, smart people, you know, good people, that good stewards of their business or the government or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and you realize real quickly that is not the case.
Right.
You know, he's like, yeah, there's brilliant people and all that stuff. He's like, but then there's the real, you know, the real dum-dums. He's like, and unfortunately, some of those are the ones with the most power. So that always sticks in my head, because I feel like that's where we're at right now. It's like all the people that should not be running things are running things. Like you're getting rid of, like they're running around getting rid of research, medical research, calling it gain of function and all this stuff. It's like, you are the last people on the planet that should be making decisions about medical research.
After we just got out of a global pandemic where everybody who was sitting on the toilet talking about they do their own research, you're like, stop. Just stop trying to literally interject into the conversation where there's no real actual thought behind what you're about to say.
Yep.
And that the challenge is there. You and I challenge each other all the time. Like, should we talk about that? We don't know enough yet. Let's hit the pause button. Let's do a little bit more deep dive, and then we could bring that conversation to the table. But that's not the world we live in anymore. You know, it really is
It's
just
not.
What dumb idea can fly out without
and how
any
fast,
thought.
And how fast can I get it out there and get it out there before anybody can challenge it? You know, the tactics are crazy.
Yeah.
But again, it's unfortunate because you see it, I see it, a lot of our listeners and our supporters see it, but there's 77 plus million Americans at least that either don't see it, don't care, or are fine with what's happening. Like I keep getting, this is what we voted for. I'm like, really? This is what you voted for?
It's interesting because and I want this little tidbit to sit with everybody, all, you know, friends, family, and all of our haters. Shipments to America, our supply chain, is right now seeing what we saw, if not worse, during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that one more time. The shipments that are not happening right now to America, to our ports, is mirroring COVID-19 when the world was shut down. The only difference is the rest of the world is trading.
And we're getting left.
Everybody else is talking to each other, and we're sitting here alone. And this is self-inflicted. Now, they're talking about the fact that they're going to be negotiating soon. They're going to be talking. Great. We've heard that tons of times from Trump, but China said, we are not talking. We have not had a conversation. We've had no dialogue. So who knows what to believe at this moment? What I can say to you on a best case scenario, we are going to feel the effects of this for the next month at least, because it's going to take a month for things to kick back into system for it to then come back.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're playing chicken. Who's going to blink? We have 1 month starting now. Let's see what happens.
And again, I challenge you all to go, you know, do your own digging and reading on what's happening at the ports, not just on the West Coast either, East Coast as well. You know, they're saying that there is a 50% decrease in flow of goods coming in through the ports right now. And that's only going to get worse because the tariffs are really just now taking effect.
Right.
So, you know, we haven't even started to feel the pain yet. Like people think that what we're feeling right now is bad. Wait till 2-3 months from now.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be bad. Mark our words. Write this episode down. Save it. It is going to get bad. And like Ian said, it's the most unfortunate part of this whole thing is it's self-inflicted.
Yeah.
You know,
this is gonna be something. I mean, and you know what? I really started thinking about these tariffs is that I don't think it's pointless in his mind. I don't think it is random. It really kind of feels like, and this is the reason why I'm saying what I'm about to say is, when you put 100% tariff on the film industry, you think about the fact that films are not mainly made in America, right? Shooting on location. Well, if it takes place in the Middle East, you're in the Middle East. If it takes location in Antarctica, some people have it in their budget to go to Antarctica and film there. And when you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, when you're going to put a tariff on this industry because it's not filmed in America or whatever this film is, and it's always so vague, these tariffs. I think about the people who run to be exempt, how they start paying for, how they start putting money in his pocket. I start looking at the crypto coin. I start connecting all the dots of like, well, who's putting money where, when, and why?
Yeah.
Because, Bezos put 40 million into this whole production for Melania, but yet here's the Washington Post getting bashed on Air Force One.
Yep.
So you're looking at the loyalty that does not exist.
And that's the funny thing, is that Trump demands all this loyalty, yet he shows none to anybody.
Zero.
And it's like, that's why I just want to look at
maybe him, his little pool boy.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we're going to circle back to the coin. I want to talk a little bit about, since we're talking about investing, let's talk about poor investments for a second. Donald Trump has proposed reopening the Alcatraz prison in San Francisco, California. Got any thoughts on that?
Distraction.
Yeah.
That's it. There's the amount of money it would cost to literally revitalize that place, rehabilitate.
Have you ever been there?
You know what? I think I went. No, I did not go. I rode a boat by it. I did not go to it.
I've been there.
I've seen it. You've seen it?
I have been there.
How bad?
And that's the first freaking thing I said. I go, anybody that believes this or is okay with this hasn't toured the place. Yeah. Like it's a museum. It's a museum now. Now, somebody also brought up a really good point too. They're like, leave it to Republicans to get rid of a source of income, because that brings in like $60 million a year.
Yeah.
Like, it pays for itself and it brings in money. So now you're going to get rid of all that, plus the jobs that are attached to it, and you're going to reopen a prison. And again, none of the buildings on there, I don't think any of those buildings would pass any kind of code to be like, you would have to literally knock down everything on the island and basically start over.
I mean, I'm sure El Salvador is safer than this right now. And when you're thinking to yourself about this, I'm just saying, if they want to put you in a place that shut down in 1960s, like, let's be serious. Let's be serious.
Like, I felt like I was going to get tetanus just walking through the tour.
Right. The whole idea is ludicrous, and this is the part that I give Trump his genius. He's great at this. He throws shit at the wall, and what does the media do? Instead of talking about the money that's being funneled into his pocketbook, to him and his family, the amount of wealth that they've gained in just 100 days alone. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this ludicrous idea that it's never going to happen. And if they did do it, it'd be as smart as having a company like Doge, who gets rid of all these IGs, who are bringing in billions of dollars for our government. Oh, let's get rid of the IRS, who literally was going to re-crawl back billions of dollars. We're going to go ahead and say, no, we're going to let that go. Okay, so we just lost billions of dollars. How about all those lawsuits that were in place where people had to pay that back? Oh, we're going to let those go? We're going to just, who was that senator who literally used donations for a little facelift or whatever her shit was? Oh, she's not paying anything back anymore too? Okay, yeah, we're good. Business as usual. I love how you're watching me almost have a Ryan rant. I'm not doing it.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I'm not doing it. I'm just sitting here
and I'm really close.
Nope.
Pretty close.
I didn't call anybody some names. I didn't call names. But the thing that I'm sitting here, I do like it. The thing
feels good, don't
it? Not there yet. Not there yet. But the thing that gets me the most, Ryan, is I'm sitting here where I'm like, look at the leaky pot that we have.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, yeah, we fetched the pail of water, but look at the mess that has brought us 100 days forward, and now
For sure.
we're damn near empty, and we got to run back and go get more.
For sure.
It's just wild to me.
It
But
is.
a lot of it's distraction. A lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Trump robbed us blind the first time.
Yeah.
And then he literally got a second go at it. So it's going to be worse. And he doesn't have, he's not going to run again. So that he has no other election to worry about.
Right.
Like he's going to just, he's going to loot us for everything it's worth.
Yeah.
And you know what? We deserve it.
Yeah.
We deserve it. Because we let this happen. We let him continue to be in office knowing all of this stuff. It's just pure insanity. It's pure insanity. See,
and the thing
Pat
that I
said
really,
the same thing.
it's not, there's only one rant, and it's a Ryan rant.
There's only one ranter around here.
You could say, irritated Ian. You could say all types.
There we go. Irritable Ian.
Irritable Ian. There it is. Irritable Ian.
It.
Here it comes. But there's only one Ryan rant. The thing, Ryan, that I really do think about though is, the element with how, because we've talked about this, who's going to pardon him. We always talk about, oh, well, no one's really pardoned themselves. He might be the first person. He might do as much as he can. And he might be like, I'm pardoning myself also with these thousands of pardons I'm going to do on my last week in office. And it's a strong possibility.
If he has loyalists ever in all the courts, he'd get away with it.
So far, nobody in the way.
But here's my thing. They keep talking about trying to, like revoke Anthony Fauci's pardon so that they can go after him. And I'm like, oh, I hope you motherfuckers set that precedent. Because if you guys pardon Trump, you bet your sweet ass the minute we get the White House, we're coming after that motherfucker.
But see, I need somebody in office that just said what you said. I need somebody who is like, I'm running for office, and the first thing I will be doing is I'm taking all the names of the people who have literally kowtowed, bent backwards, did all these things for him, top down, in every branch. And I'm coming
busy for the next 4 to 8 years. I'm just saying.
I'm saying that's kind of energy that we need. Someone who's taken names and who literally is saying on day one, my first 100 days, I will be prosecuting the shit out of this administration. Yep. And when you start talking like that, you're going to have all these people, because I want people to look at why the polling shows that Democrats are doing worse than Trump. And it's because you're sitting here writing angry letters.
Tell them again. Tell them again, Ian.
Here and you're not doing anything. It's because you're sitting here and you're censuring your own people. It's because you're sitting here and you are going along with what is happening. And your sit-ins, your filibusters, and all these little moments that you're having are not actually creating the good trouble that is necessary in today's fight.
Yep.
And the thing that we're seeing here is we want somebody who's ready to get in front of all this and take it on, because
Democrats
it feels
currently have maybe 4,
and the fact that those 4 are being told to sit down or to get in line still tells you the disconnect that is there.
Yes,
and that's the biggest thing. And so that's why I give you a lot of credit, Ryan. You were made for this fight. Now the question is, and even us talking about you with other influencers, why are they not pulling you in on certain tours to be combative, to be in front of this, to become the voice and the face of, you're the perfect candidate.
I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. It's my thing. But, it really is kind of unfortunate because, I've had so many people reach out to me lately that are like, you're either it's a, you were right message, or, you're the kind of person we need in this fight right now kind of message. Yeah. And those are the ones I really kind of, hang on to, because it's like I was told the same thing that Jasmine Crockett and AOC and that they're being told. I was told by the party to calm down, don't be a problem, your time will come, whatever bullshit they were selling. And to see it happening to Jasmine Crockett, to AOC, to the few Democrats that actually have the courage to stand up and not be concerned about whatever Trump's going to do to them, and of course it's, women of color. But it's just like, I don't understand why people don't get behind me and people like me, because I'm not the only one out here doing it this way. Right. But yeah, for some reason I don't. It's not just MAGA I piss off. I seem to piss off everybody. But
which is good, because people need to feel a little uncomfortable.
That's how I see it, because it's
people
like
need a little shake up.
Yep.
We've experienced this experiment, right? Because don't get it twisted. 250 years is what we're coming up on. That's it.
Look what I said. I remember in high school you being combative, so it's been longer, dude.
Yeah, you have.
I love that. Oh, that's so funny.
Elena, all he had to do was just make a couple jokes, okay? It would have gone a lot further than him always fighting with him.
Probably. That's what I had you for.
That's what it is. Smooth sailing.
Yeah.
But it's, when you talk about this experiment that we're coming up upon 250, and you think about, like, will we see another 250? I don't know. And I'm not trying to be so dark about it, but it's when you really kind of just like look at how quickly something could crumble. Because that's the part, and what's wild to me is that George Lucas, Star Wars, he's been talking about this since the 1970s with his films. They just put in the light swords and the spaceships and the mythology of stuff, but he's literally talking about the falling of a democracy and how people will put their faith blindly into somebody if you don't stand up to the moment.
Yep.
And the question is, are we going to stand up to the moment? That's where I'm at right now. Mentally, physically, and spiritually.
I think that was very well said. Yeah, no notes.
I've never gotten one of those from you, and it actually feels.
I know, it feels weird. This awkward silence. It's like, now where do we go?
You wink? What do we do?
I don't know. So horrible transition into the next talking point, which will be, so Donald Trump, in his infinite wisdom, because they've been working out so well so far, has put a 100% tariff on the film industry. President Trump proposed a 100% tariff on movies produced outside. What's up, buddy? Movies produced outside the United States, claiming it would save Hollywood and that other countries were stealing the movie-making industry. This plan has raised questions about how it would be implemented and who it would affect, leaving Hollywood executives and critics confused.
Everybody.
So, like, does Donald Trump think that no other countries make movies?
But not even that. When you're making a film, like you look at Mission Impossible, that's filmed all around the world. So there's crews everywhere. So when you're talking about how vague that is, that's why everybody's confused. Yeah. So you're talking about just the film crews that are there, you know what I mean? That are just shooting in Prague. So now we're gonna have this 100% tariff to make this film. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think it's like you keep saying, it's another one of those here, look over here things.
Right.
Or
pay me.
Yep.
Pay me.
But
Hollywood, because you never gave me a chance. You never took me serious with whatever my bullshit show is. There's a part of extortion that I get from these tariffs, and it's now with this. It was with China and it was with Apple paying and asking for exemptions for the iPhones in their products.
Yeah.
But then when you went after the movie industry, I'm like, wait a minute. Who is he demanding that they either start making film about him or his legacy or some scripts or some deals? Like, start paying attention to see what actually comes out in the near future. Yeah. That's what I'm interested to see, what actually comes out of this.
So the other interesting thing is here, Gavin Newsom came out and shot himself in the other foot that he was hopping on after letting Charlie Kirk and Alex Jones be his first and second or third guest on the show. He put out this tweet: California built the film industry, and we're ready to bring even more jobs home. We've proven what strong state incentives can do. Now it's time for a real federal partnership to make America film again. POTUS, let's get it done. Bitch. See, now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just drag you for just a quick second. So we discussed during the last show when Governor
Big Gretch.
Gretchen Whitmer came and greeted Donald Trump at the airport, hugging and kissing him and whatever. I was pretty pissed, and you were like, well, she's getting a deal done and blah, blah, blah. And, and I kind of let it go. And then this happens. And it's like, there was a point where I honestly thought Newsom could be our next candidate.
Yeah.
And then this dude, like, look, I want to make this as clear as possible. I don't care who you are. I don't care what political party you belong to. I don't care what religion you practice. If you work with or support Donald Trump in any fucking way, you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
Like, that's where I'm at. Like, Democrats, stop playing the same game. Just like Ian said, you guys are writing strong-worded letters. You got Cory Booker sitting on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, you having a kumbaya, and then literally walking over to the Capitol and fucking voting for Donald Trump's cabinet appointments.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Stop with the performative bullshit, and let's actually stop these people, because they are literally tearing our fucking government down. And too many people just seem to think that if we just sit there and stomp our feet and protest, that's going to get the fucking job done, and it's not.
No. What I've learned from the truck protests, they can't gas you, they can't beat you if your vehicles are just nothing but traffic jams. Yeah. I really want the left to learn from what those truckers did. They shut down cities. They straight up just shut down cities. Gavin Newsom has to be getting high off of his his hair products, because the thing that I really get from him is remember that he used to be with Guilfoyle, right? Kimberly Guilfoyle.
That makes a hell of a lot more sense now.
And when you see where that's gone, it's like, okay, well, remember that was an extension of him at one point in life. And not saying that he hasn't grown from that experience, but that was your flavor, so there's that. And maybe he was a little too snug with Melania during those LA fires, because we all saw it on the tarmac. We all saw it.
He whispered in her ear, "I'll meet you at the hotel."
You know what I'm saying? He's into pool boys, so there's something there. No, but with Gretchen, it was something that I will say this to you. The reason why with Big Gretch, I was like, this is a win, is that she was doing that with the Biden administration as well. So she didn't care who was in power. She was still always advocating for that base to stay what it was.
Right.
That does change hands. She can't control who is actually the president. Where Newsom is, this is a little weird. Again, this is a self-inflicted situation.
Yep.
So for him to run and grovel and play that dance, you know who I got to give credit to? Janet Mills, governor of Maine. I'll see you in court. That governor in that man's house. Wait, is it Janet Mills here? Here? Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and not do that trans thing, right? You're gonna go ahead and follow our instructions? Nope. well, we're gonna take you to. I'll see you in court. That's what she said to the president of the United States. Guess what? She won in court. That's a bad woman right there. That's who I want to see, who is letting them know where we stand.
It's nice to have women like that, because one of the things I can't stand is when all these MAGA people online, when I'm arguing with them, they always say, oh shit, I lost what I was going to say.
It seems like it's all women, Ryan, who are actually putting up more of the fight.
Yeah.
I don't see no dudes doing it.
Nope.
They have all brought their knee pads. I really am sitting here like, wait a minute. Is this really what's going on right now? Is this really insane. What's happening with I'm writing an angry letter? What?
Yep.
What? Come on, Chuck. Sit your old ass down. Like, what are we doing here? I'm gonna confess right now. I have literally looked up what it takes to unseat Chuck Schumer. As in, what I need to do. How many young people who are in politics are going to step up to bat? Because I'm even looking at doing it now. Because what are we going to do here? AOC beat an incumbent, took
that
that
nobody
seat.
thought she was going to beat.
Nobody thought she was. She was just a bartender, just a waitress, just hanging out young in New York. Guess what she did? Uprooted that seat. Now look at her. Young voices, people who have actually lived and breathed this struggle to climb up this. I mean, how many recessions have we had in our lifetime? Global pandemic. All these experiences that we've had and we've survived and we are still here and we are better for it.
Yeah.
Because we understand how to actually maneuver and how to work with each other to get through this.
Yep.
This is the situation that our generation has really looked at. And again, we are here for this fight. I don't see Chuck up and down making moves. I don't. I'm sorry.
Well, and again, we've talked about it on the show. I left the Democratic Party about 2 years ago. And I tell people all the time, the funny thing is I'm more loyal to the Democratic Party and Democratic candidates than the Democratic Party is. And it's like, it's just crazy to watch them continuously screw the pooch.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, you know me and you know how I feel behind closed doors as well. And as much as I love
Ryan, just so you know, it's the same person.
I tell you things offline that I don't say anyway.
A little OnlyFans, esque, as we always hint at, but yes, it's there. Yes.
But no, as much as I love Kamala Harris and I think that she was the best person for the job, the fact is we couldn't beat a felon. We couldn't beat a rapist, sexual abuser, whatever you want to call him. We couldn't beat a prolific business fraud and a known racist.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, and Kamala Harris on paper makes Donald Trump look like an imbecile. Like let's just call it what it is. Her CV and her resume are leaps and bounds above anything Donald Trump has done with his life.
Yeah.
So there's no comparison professionally. There's no comparison morally. It's just the people believe a fucking con man and a reality TV host. And for some reason, they think that a draft dodging coward is going to stand up to foreign powers and protect the American people. And he's not. He's literally a dickless coward. He's literally controlled by Putin and whoever else wants him. Netanyahu, whatever. All they got to offer him is some money.
Yeah.
That's literally all they got to do.
Sweet doubloons. Yeah. It's all about his crypto now. That's 40% of his wealth, his crypto. Is now 40% officially at this point in his presidency. The new, Don 2.0. And Ryan, you're not, when you're looking at this, and I really keep this in consideration, is that he didn't even get half the country. Like really, if you look at the people who actually voted, if you look at how many Americans are in the country versus who are registered voters, and then you look at who sat out or who did a protest vote this year, people did. The perfect storm happened allegedly without any type of interference. Great episode, guys. Go check out that if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, Election Alliance, Election Truth Alliance is who I'm talking about. But when you look at the perfect storm of who did a protest vote versus how many dumb Americans really are your neighbor, plain and simple. Yep. And I'm not even thinking of they were had. No, they voted for. There was nothing that was a deal breaker for them.
Yeah.
And that's the part where I'm now I don't care. I don't care. Now they want to bitch that we on the left don't have any empathy for them, or they thought we were the party that was supposed to be kind and cared. We don't.
We don't. Them.
That's done. That's done. Well, you're hypocrites. That you used to be about if they go high, go low, you guys go high. That shit's
anymore.
Old. That shit's 2008. And if we haven't grown, that would be called insanity. If we were trying to do the same thing over again, thinking we're going to get different.
Well, the problem is some Democrats are still trying that play, and again, that's where I get frustrated because it's they'll criticize people like me, and then they go back to the same old. Oh well, we just gotta go high when they go low. Nope. Stop.
It's called insanity.
It didn't work in 2015, 2016. It really didn't work in 2020, and it sure as hell didn't work in 2024.
That's right.
So
because the reality of this now, where we're trying to meet the mark, is Dems are underperforming because people see that it's just bullshit. And then you look at these people and where they came from. They came from whatever Ivy League school. They were, in a way, Nepo babies that really kind of grew, and then they had a silver spoon.
They're not
and they
like
got
AOC. Most of them are not like AOC.
They're not AOC. And then and it shows. And they're not Bernie Sanders. It shows. They are about the fight. Bernie's been doing it. I actually think the moment Bernie can't fight no more is when he's going to die. That's the thing. If he stops moving, he ain't going to be with us anymore.
I mean, dude had a heart attack when he ran for president. He's still out here.
Still. When he was a mayor.
Got a
stint. When he was a college kid.
Yep.
I mean, come on. When you have a picture of you getting carried away by police, yeah, you're about that life. You are about that life. Same with John Lewis, about that life.
But again, we find these truly honorable public servants. And again, we may not agree with him on everything. I know I don't agree with Bernie Sanders on everything, but at the end of the day, I don't question his motives, and I don't question his morals. Like, I've never questioned his morals. And I'm fine with disagreeing with a politician on some issues. Like, I'm fine with that. That's what politics is supposed to be about. Like, I would much more rather we do this show and we have political conversations about policies instead of playing the red meat bullshit game. But unfortunately, people don't vote about policy. They vote on emotions and bullshit red meat. So we have to play the game. But it boils down to Bernie Sanders is a unicorn.
Yeah.
He's an independent that can still manage to get the support that a Democrat would have. And he does appeal to the independents because he does tend to, he's like me. He doesn't mind looking at the Democrats saying, you guys are being dumb.
Yeah.
Like, this is not exactly.
Sense.
And that's why some people don't like him. But it's like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Right. If you're truly an independent or you truly consider yourself a moderate, you're going to go whichever way the information takes you.
Right.
You're not going to let, things like feelings and other people's agendas, take you off of that path. And Bernie, to me, has done a really good job. And I've never been a Bernie voter, just to be clear. But I think he's done a really good job of combining the two, which is he has this ability to deliver his message in a up-tempo, powerful way, but the information that he's delivering is good information. It's not something that you're going to go read about and be like, oh, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
But
he's also like 40 years document of him saying the same exact thing.
Same shit.
And literally adjusting it for the times of like, don't do this or we're going to become more oligarchs.
His morals and his principles never changed.
It's always been there.
It's always been the same. And
it's interesting to see it.
And that I'm so glad you said that because I think that does speak volumes. And I say that. I'm like, look, you can go on my social media for the last 5 years. I have not changed my tune. I may have changed political parties, not changed parties. I may have left parties and become an independent, but the way I conduct my business, the way I approach the topics, where I stand politically, none of those things have changed.
Right.
And that's what I keep trying to get. Like, you go look at Charlie Kirk, he's got one tweet one day, and then 3 weeks later, he's going to post something that completely contradicts it.
Boy, Candace Owens sounds like she on our side now.
Another great example.
It's like,
there's several of them right now.
Yes.
Who's the other one? Laura Loomer. She's had a couple. She's still wacko, don't get me wrong. But she's had a couple that you're just like, damn, really? You sound like you're actually finding a clue.
Yeah.
But again, it's seeing all these people that are like, yeah, this isn't the right way.
Right.
Like, even saying Trump's tariffs are bad. You've got rich people coming out and be like, nah, this isn't a great idea.
Right. And Powell is not having it. He's not playing ball. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out because Trump was told
he's going to remove him.
Trump was told to shut up.
And
the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
The numbers don't lie. And the data that he was given told him to shut up. And the moment that he did, because he pulled a 180 from talking about he never liked Powell, he's talking about getting rid of him, and then he goes, "I'm not going to get rid of Powell. I'm not going to do it."
But again,
You know?
that I'm fucking bipolar.
Yeah.
I'm very open about it. I'm bipolar, and I don't flip flop like that. Like, even when I was on medicated, I didn't flip flop like that.
I think he has dementia. I think that he's declining, and I think that none of us are really talking about it. We talk so much about Biden's age. No one's talking about that this man is right there with him. No one's even talking about the fact that Clinton is younger than Trump.
Yeah, but
President
Clinton don't
Clinton.
look good, though.
I don't care. He's younger.
Yeah.
Al Gore, younger than Trump. Like, this is what blows my mind, that these people are younger than the man who's running the office right now.
Can I just say one more thing? And I'm not trying to piss y'all off, I swear. But I got so pissed off when I saw that video of Al Gore losing his shit. Because the first thing I said when I watched it was, "Where have you been, bitch? Like, now you want to come out and say all this shit?"
Now.
Hey, better idea, Al. If you would have been like that in 2000, you might have fucking been president, bitch.
I mean, he could have lent that voice back in, I don't know, August.
2015, 2020,
2024.
COVID, fucking anything. Like, where's this dude
You
been?
could have been out there doing that. I think he sees.
He's like Jill Stein, but every 20 years.
Oh my God. No, but damn, that hurts. That hurts.
That hurt, didn't it?
They have the same haircut, so it is what it is. So the thing that gets me, Ryan, is this is literally I think is seeing the messaging that's necessary. Do you know what I mean? He sees the anger that is necessary. He's meeting the moment.
Yeah.
He is meeting it.
Well, and again, it has been encouraging because a lot of people that, they don't fight my way. And I always, how do I say this? I'm okay if you don't particularly like my brand of how I approach MAGA and Trump and all this. I get it. But you can still be supportive of people fighting the way I do, without intaking it all the time. Like, you already know how I am, but you also know my agenda, and you know this is just how he delivers the message.
Yeah.
But when you factor in who we're fighting against, I mean, look, I may not be the asshole y'all want, but I'm the one you need. I don't know any other way to say it. Like, embrace me. I want to fight for you. I want to take all these people down. Ian and I both do.
Yeah.
Like, give us the power. Like, we will He-Man the shit out of these motherfuckers.
It is really interesting to think about what it will take to box. To get in the ring and to do this. And
money.
And at the same time, yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And then you think about the money that is with the incumbent, right? When you think about the fact that the comfort of it's the devil they know.
The devil they know, and it's a network that's already established.
Correct.
Yep. Both.
And then you look at when it's and this is a tale old as time, when you have a boxer who's always been established, they're the heavyweight, but look at who's coming up. Yep. Look at the disruptors. Well, think about this long and hard. The boomer generation, they don't want to relinquish power, and they are still holding on. People are living longer, and they do not want to let go. Warren Buffett just stepped down. This is the end of an era.
Did he step down?
He just stepped down. He's
what, like today?
This week.
Oh, when I
tell you that I'm not paying attention to Trump, I'm paying attention to the world. You know what I mean? I want to know what knowledge is actually out there.
I mean, he's old as shit, so I mean,
boomer generation.
Yeah.
But they are just starting to really start stepping away.
Yeah.
And this is something that, and this goes to anybody about anything, any industry. Boomers are stepping away. Therefore, there are people who need to invest in buying those businesses, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Be that a laundromat, be a car wash, be a restaurant, be some type of brick and mortar place. People are stepping away from what they've built, and they need younger people to step in. So I see that with our politics. I see that with our communities. I see that in the aspect of on a state level to to the nation.
Yep.
It's time for our generation to step up and bat.
Yep. and it's time for us to move on.
Yeah. That's a good segue.
It was a good segue. So with that, we've already kind of touched on it. I want to read a little bit just so people have some context on this.
Oh, and you have me for a half an hour left.
Okay. Are you serious?
Yes. I have a infant I need to get to.
Oh, you motherfucker. You should have told me
welcome.
that.
You've been told. You've been told.
I need more notice next week, okay?
All right, I'll give you more. Next week, you got an hour and a half.
All right, well, y'all hang on because this is going to be a quick 30 minutes.
Let's do it.
Trump's stablecoin has been chosen for a $2 billion Abu Dhabi investment in Binance. Stablecoin launched by Donald Trump's World Liberty Financial crypto venture is being used by an Abu Dhabi investment firm for its $2 billion investment in crypto exchange Binance, one of the World Liberty's co-founders said on Thursday. In the latest in a series of Trump family crypto-related ventures, including a meme coin launched in January, that have drawn criticism from government ethics experts and political opponents over potential conflicts of interests. All the MAGA Muppets saying he donates his $400,000 a year salary sure are quiet about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he needs the $400,000 write-off to cover all this bullshit.
The guy who struck the deal is the son of Whitcomb?
Whitcomb. No, not Whitcomb. Is
it Whitcomb? I believe the one that's now working with Moscow to negotiate the deal.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
His son is the one that brokered this deal.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
World Liberty.
It's all
intertwined.
All of it.
World Liberty, which aims to allow people to access financial services without intermediaries like banks, translation, without oversight.
Yeah.
Said in March it would launch USD1, a dollar-pegged stablecoin backed by U.S. Treasuries, dollars, and other. What did she say? Witkoff. Thank you. Intermediaries like banks said March it would launch USD1, a dollar-pegged stablecoin backed by U.S. Treasuries, dollars, and other cash equivalents. A fund backed by a foreign government just announced it'll make a $2 billion deal using Donald Trump's stablecoins, said Elizabeth Warren, a member of the U.S. Senate Banking Committee. Meanwhile, the Senate is gearing up to pass the Genius Act, stablecoin legislation that will make it easier for the president and his family to line their own pockets. This is corruption, and no senator should support it.
Yep.
Like, again, this dude, like we said November 5th and our first show back, he's going to line his pockets and rob us blind. And all the MAGA people are going to be left standing there looking like the Monopoly guy with his pockets out at the end of this 4 years going, what happened? We told you what was going to happen.
Everybody.
And this is on top of the $2 billion that Jared Kushner got for investing on their way out the door the first time.
Wow.
They seem to like that $2 billion number, don't they?
They love a $2 billion.
Yeah, man. Speaking of money, we also need to touch on the military parade that Donald Trump is going to be putting on.
So full on dictatorship, huh? That's where we're going to go?
I mean,
full on dictatorship. How are we driving a submarine down Pennsylvania?
They're not really doing that, are they?
He mentioned it. This fool mentioned we have the nicest thing. We're going to showcase blah, blah. We have great submarines. And it was like, how are you going to go ahead and move that submarine down the street?
You're not.
Let alone, Ryan, how heavy all this equipment is.
Oh, yeah. The roads are going to get fucked.
Have we really tallied how damaged alone everything's going to, and then how big everything is, like all the street signs, whatever, stop lights.
I don't think they care.
Again, they don't care. They don't care.
And here's the
for his birthday. It's for his birthday.
It's really for his birthday. It's a birthday fucking parade. Let's call it what it is.
Say it's giving tiny dick energy, but say you're not only a narcissist, but a wannabe dictator by having a little parade for your birthday. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, dude. It really is. But here's what pisses me off. And for those of you who may be new listeners, I'm a veteran. My wife's a veteran. My dad was a veteran. My in-law is a veteran. Like my family on both sides, veterans.
Yeah.
And to see a 5-time draft dodging prick like this, use the military for a parade on his birthday, while simultaneously saying he's getting rid of Veterans Day to make it World War I Victory Day. Like,
again,
seriously?
But again, that's the distraction.
But here's the thing that I want everybody to really get through your fucking skull. All right? Is that on April 4th of 2025, we had 4 soldiers flown home from Lithuania who lost their lives.
Yeah.
And the dignified transfer of their bodies occurred at Dover Air Force Base that day. And Donald Trump was not in attendance. Do you want to know what he was doing that day? He was down in Florida at Mar-a-Lago for a live golf tournament event with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So he was too busy with Saudi Arabia kissing their fucking ass to actually go do his job, which is to go greet the families of the 4 soldiers that he just lost. Oh, J.D. Vance, who's a veteran himself, he didn't show up either.
Right.
It was Pete Hegseth's drunk ass. So, all you veterans out there that allowed Donald Trump and this administration to use you, to use your family, to use the loss of your loved one, to push their political agenda, to take photos at Arlington National Cemetery, to discredit everything that our service members do.
Right.
Like, I don't have anything nice to say.
Right.
Like, there's nothing nice to say to you people. Like, the fact that you let him show up to Arlington National Cemetery and use your children to get elected.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And then simultaneously trashing Joe Biden, who showed up to dignified transfers, who actually had a son that served our country, unlike any Trump. Go see if any Trump served the military.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that not a single one of these pricks have joined our military. And even when Donald Trump's number was called 5 times, he got 4 deferments for college, and then he got a 5th deferment from a doctor for bone spurs because his college deferments had run out. He is a coward. He would fucking step on any one of us to get across the street to avoid a puddle. That's who Donald Trump is. And the faster Americans realize it, the faster the 77 million Americans that voted for this piece of garbage realize it, the better off we're going to be. Because the impeachment talk needs to stop. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So if you guys want to get serious, y'all need to start courting J.D. Vance and all those people and convince them that Donald Trump is a fucking lunatic and that they need to use the 25th Amendment and get him the fuck out of there. That is literally pretty much our only option at this point.
Not only that, every person that's working with him, from lawyers to whoever.
Oh, 100%. We have to get rid of everybody that's in there.
They need to be disbarred. I mean, anybody who is breaking law and trying to play this game, especially in federal court, as all these courts that they're losing so many battles in the court system. Every one of these lawyers needs to be disbarred. I'm sorry. Strip it. Take away people's power, because that will get everybody thinking, oh, wait a minute, because it's not that I'm going to prison. No, I'm disbarred. Trump can't pardon that.
No.
So pull it. Let's see how many people want to actually be a part of this game. But when you start losing.
If we would have done that after January 6th, we wouldn't be here. I mean, let's call it what it is.
South Korea showed us that. South Korea completely did it the right way. We could learn something from South Korea on how to handle this situation.
I mean, the people that are really responsible for what's happening right now are Republicans. And the reason I say that is Democrats, not once, but twice, got an impeachment push through the House. And when it got to the Senate, it was killed by Republicans.
Yeah.
Now, if they would have convicted, it would have been a political conviction. It wouldn't have been a criminal one. But with that political conviction comes the stipulation that he could never run for office again. He could have never been president again. After January 6th, he was already done with office anyway. We could have ensured that he could never run again.
Right.
We could have ensured that the damage that was done that day could never be done by him again. But all the Republicans that stood on the floor that night and the next day talking about how bad this was and how Trump was wrong and this was an attack on our democracy and blah, blah, blah. Go look. Again, I'm not trying to start a cult. We're not trying to lie to you. Right. Go back. The videos are there. They're all on the floor. Everybody was against it.
Graham.
Everybody in Congress realized that it was their ass that those people were coming for.
Yeah.
But somehow, Mike Pence seems to be the only one that
He's
hasn't.
Speaking up.
He at least he hasn't completely gone backwards and been like, "Oh, Trump was great. I don't know what you're talking about."
No, he's speaking up.
Yeah, he's like, "No, this ain't."
No.
So I mean, granted, he did try to hang him, so wouldn't expect him to be too friendly.
All I have to say is that Jimmy Carter's funeral, his wife, Miss Pence.
Oh, I love that.
I'm now like, hello, mother. Hello.
Didn't even get up. Didn't even get up.
Don't even look at me. Move
on.
on.
That was beautiful.
Move on. All right, next thing. What do we got?
So we
can drop some stuff. So we just get to the nitty gritty.
Okay, we'll get rid of Zuckerberg. Okay. I'm just going to touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
So India has launched military strikes against Pakistan. Strikes intensify a confrontation between nuclear-armed neighbors. India hit Pakistan and Pakistani Kashmir with missiles on Wednesday, and Pakistan vowed to retaliate, saying it shot down 5 Indian aircraft in the worst clash in more than 2 decades between the nuclear-armed neighbors. Yes. India said it struck 9 terrorist infrastructure sites, some of them linked to an attack by Islamist militants that killed 25 Hindu terrorists and 1 local in Indian Kashmir last month.
Yes.
India told more than a dozen foreign envoys in New Delhi that if Pakistan responds, India will respond, fueling fears of a larger military conflict in one of the world's most dangerous and most populated nuclear flashpoint regions. So, the conflicts are only escalating.
Everything is escalating, man. And I vividly remember under Sleepy Joe, Trump saying, if he was president, none of these wars would be happening.
Yeah, because they'd be too afraid of us. Yeah.
America looks weak under Joe Biden. Trump, this war is breaking out everywhere. And
because they think you're weak.
They definitely think this administration is weak. We're too distracted.
Well, they're watching us weaken our military. Like, they're laughing.
We're not ready to jump into any fight. I'm sorry.
We're barely ready to defend ourselves if they come on our shores.
We're gonna show up with super soakers. That's where we're at right now.
Pretty much, man.
All right, this is it. We're gonna.
That's what happens when it's all for politics.
It's so facts. But this is getting serious. This is getting real serious.
But real quick, just got to make the comment. I know we've talked about her a lot today, but where's the pro-Palestinian protesters from?
Man, this one hurts because when you're looking at what's happening, like the actual situation, and you've heard me here try to be even keeled. This is not a genocide. This is a war. If this is a genocide,
we've gone at it a few times about it.
We've gone at it, and I combat with and I push back on you of like what we did in Iraq, was that genocide? Because it's like there's this fine line that's there in my mind. Or is this war? And this is and the reality is it's urban warfare. And how do you fight that? And what's the best way to do it?
Yeah.
When they were bombing, that was too much. When they did the pagers, people still said that was too much. But at the same time, it was so precise. So how are we talking about this in the eyes of trying to have empathy for the innocents? But at the same time, no one even cares about the hostages anymore. Now it's a full takeover of Gaza. You've been claiming it to be a land grab from day one, or at least halfway into this,
where I could see that that's what it was. Yeah,
where it was going.
Yeah,
and now it is that they're saying it literally. We're taking all of this.
Well, I mean, they got footage today of them literally kicking them out.
It's like there's nothing you could say to that, and it's like, and then at the same time, they're starving everybody. They're closing off any type of supplies to get in. But then what is Hamas doing? They're killing their own people because they're starving and they're trying to get anything they can get their hands on. And Hamas is like, us first, and then we'll think about you. And it's like that's not your government working for you, right?
No. Yeah.
But this is a terrorist organization that is governing. So when you're looking at that and you think to yourself like, it's all the worst people that are in control of this.
Yeah.
And like 70%, I was reading about this, 70% of actual Israelis are not for any of this.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's the government, much like our own, who are just like, yeah, we're all good. But here's the pro-Palestinians. Wait, give me real quick, Ryan. Does AOC have anything to do with Middle East?
Not to my knowledge.
Do the Democrats have any power that they can do anything in the Middle East?
No, they don't have any power over their government.
So why are they the ones getting protested right now?
Great question.
Because this is where I'm trying to make things make sense. Y'all don't want to go up against Trump. You didn't go to one of his rallies. You're not literally going up to the White House right now. You're not putting yourself on Front Street. Is his little tactic of getting people deported now freaking you out?
Mhm.
Because if you were really froggy, you would be on the front lines right now, letting him know how you really feel. You would be at your congressmen, you would be at your senators, you'd be mobilizing for phone calls. But all those tactics that you guys had against Sleepy Joe and Kamala and literally running them into the ground and then doing your protest vote, how is it working out for you? Arabs for Trump are now Arabs for peace. And they did that within his first 30 days.
That was a quick rebrand, wasn't it?
They rebranded real fast. The mayor of Hamtramck and the people that were there that were advocating for Trump now have a seat at the table with Trump.
Mhm.
Let that sink in.
Not that they'll listen to him.
Do they care what's happening to their cousins?
I mean,
that's the part that I'm looking at. And it's not even about listening. They got the seat at the table. They don't care about anybody else.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point.
That's the thing that I find so wild about this past 100 days or this past in general transition of power.
Yeah.
Everybody's dropped the ball on the people who need us there more. The hostages and the people who are stuck in Gaza who have nothing to do with this.
Yep.
You and I have only advocated for, if anything, for them.
The innocents. Yep.
And this is the people who are suffering the most. And this is where it's so fucked up.
Yeah. No, I agree. Speaking of fucked up, we weren't going to talk about this today, but you changed your mind a few hours later, which I'm actually happy that you did. But, this is a heavy topic, I think, for both of us. You as a black man with, your kids, and me as a white man with black kids. It's just really disheartening to watch the justice system show two different sides of the coin depending on who you are in America. And it's just, to say it's infuriating, and I don't know, I just can't even find the words to describe how pissed off it made me when I read it. Tyree Nichols was beaten during a traffic stop in 2023 and died 3 days later after sustaining numerous blows to the head, according to a post-mortem report. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith Jr. were found not guilty on all charges today, including second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, and official oppression. The only positive side of this story is that all three of these men have been convicted on federal charges. So all three of them are still facing prison sentences. Bean and Smith are looking at 20 years each, while Haley is facing a life sentence in federal prison. So while I'm happy that they aren't going to necessarily be getting away, let's see what the sentences end up. Does. Yeah, well, let's see what the actual sentences end up. Oh, great point. And what Pam Bondi might do. Yeah. But they're three black men, so I doubt she'll care. But maybe
the gang is blue. The gang is blue.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The U.S. Justice Department in December of 2024 found that the Memphis Police Department regularly used excessive force against black residents.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And the people who convicted, who helped with the testimony, was a trainer for the police.
Yep.
and an individual who is affiliated with the actual, like, not HR, but the branch, where they said this was excessive. This
Yeah, they
was
said
not
there was no
rhyme or reason for this.
for that. Yep.
Yeah.
They said it in court.
In court.
Yep.
Testified.
I'm
And
I'm glad you said that.
and that's the thing, that when you sit here and you look at who testified, and it's their own people that are like, this is not what we teach. This is not, we cannot stand by this. This is unacceptable. And they find that innocent.
And then the city goes and finds him innocent. It's like, really? Like, what
It's,
message did you just send to all of your local residents and the people that depend on you in your city, your jurisdiction? You just told all the black people basically to go fuck themselves.
But this is the part where, and the reason why I switched, because you wrote it to me and I just said, I just can't.
Yep. And I was like,
I can't.
understood.
And, and I want to tell you, I appreciate you, because I didn't have to explain myself.
Nope. I knew it. I knew what
You
you meant.
just, and maybe it's because you see it in your own kids' eyes, your wife's, you're surrounded by it. But there's a moment where it's just, I can't. I can't understand why a system would have the evidence. It's on videotape. That's like watching Rodney King and being like,
he was beaten and tased and crying out for his mother.
Yeah. Over a what? Traffic stop?
Traffic stop.
Traffic.
I believe they said reckless driving. That's what the claim was.
That they claim.
Yeah.
That they claim. It's a traffic stop. You know who can pass judgment? The judge.
Yep. Jury.
You don't need to be attacking somebody. And the thing that twisted in me was the most recent story. If you can add those to this context.
Oh yeah. So
because this is what made me want to talk to you about this.
Yep. So as much as this is upsetting, there's another thing going down right now that it is definitely what's the word I'm looking for? Related, I guess would be the word. Rodney Hinton Jr. was denied bond, I believe it was yesterday. Rodney Hinton Jr. Intentionally hit and killed an Ohio sheriff's deputy. He ran over him with a car after his son was fatally shot by the same police department. He will remain in the
same cop. Wasn't it the same cop?
I don't believe it was the same cop.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was a different cop, but same police department. I could be wrong.
Oh, I may be mistaken. I thought it was the same cop from that department who shot his son.
I don't think it was the same one that shot him. I think that's where the problem's going to really be for him.
Interesting. Okay, I need to get more context on that.
Because I think a jury, if you ran over, I think a jury might be able to somewhat understand. You have a mental break. Cop killed your son. You want, eye for an eye. I could understand that. But if you just went to go kill another cop, just, to, I don't know, make a point or something, then yeah, that's not going to go well for him.
The thing that got me, Ryan, about this story alone is that the young man was gunned down for a stolen car.
Yeah.
And they said that they heard a gun on this young man as metal on metal, because he was running around a dumpster and he was running away. It was 6 seconds that the cops got there before they gunned him down. 6 seconds of interaction. I don't know about you, but I don't really think I'm in a situation where I can make a life or death choice within 6 seconds.
Not based off of a clinging sound off of a metal, no.
Of someone running away also.
Yeah, no.
Like not towards, but away from me.
Yep. That's the problem.
That's the part where I sit here and I really try to deduce shot and killed by police. That's the part that I'm really trying to understand, and I don't want to see any loss of life. I don't want to see cops.
Hey, Bunny, are you still here? Can you fact check that for us?
I don't want to. Go ahead. Was it the same cop or the same department?
Yeah, if you're still in here, Bunny, can you see, please? Go ahead, bro.
And the thing is, I don't want to see any loss of life.
No.
On any side, period. If it's a stolen car, insurance will take care of it. You'll get your money. What sentimental do
He'll
you
go
have?
through the system. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like go through he was 18 years old. The fact that the cop that was run down was retired, doing it as a favor. My man just showed up to work, was just like, all right, let me go ahead and direct traffic. We've all seen the cops in the street. We've all seen them, not really understand how, when to bring them and when not to. We've all dealt with that kind of cop.
Yeah.
We all get frustrated with. But to think for 1 second that this man, who the father, has had enough. You took his son. He just watched the tape within 24 hours. And he acts like this, and you want to call it premeditated? That's not premeditated.
No, that's
I'm
that's a
saying with
mental
some
break.
shit that I learned a month ago. You know what I mean? You're talking about within 24 hours. I'm not going to peg this person with anything. Within a system that they have already been like, well, we'll show you the videotape, but he's not, we know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
This is Ohio. They shot Tamir Rice for playing with a toy gun in a park. My man was 13, little baby boy, child. He had 6 seconds. This 18-year-old. So and this is Ohio. Why are we so trigger happy?
Yeah, some of these cops are way too quick to pull their gun.
And then to see the image, I don't know if you saw this, but the image in the courtroom of all the cops.
Oh, the whole courtroom was filled.
Gross.
Yep.
None of this screams that this is going to be a fair trial, court, this, that, about the science, what's going on.
He's done.
Forget the psychologist, whoever they're going to get to come in for evidence, you know what I mean, to testify. The stare down that they gave actually showed me more weakness than the strength they thought that they were actually trying to promote.
Oh, for sure.
Because the simple fact that you sat there staring at this man who is distraught for losing his son.
Yeah, and not taking any accountability for your part in what led to this.
Yeah.
That's the part that pisses me off. Like, you guys killed his son. One of yours killed his son. And in his mind, he said, all right, motherfuckers, I've seen this 100 times, and you just did it to my son. So You took one of mine, I'm going to take one of yours. I hate to say it, man. I understand that mindset.
And that's the part that I'm really wrapped around, because it's like, I don't want to see a loss of life. Neither side. But when you're seeing it unfold and you go, well, the system, and you look at Mr. Nichols, right? You look at this and you're like, how? You have the videotape. You're watching it. It's there. How is this okay?
Yeah.
And God forbid this country survives if Trump pardons Chauvin. And I've said this to you already.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
God forbid. Because black people are not coming out. If you've not noticed, we are not protesting. This is your lesson to learn.
Don't. You might get shot.
This is your lesson to learn. Cops have not been aggressive with protesters because we're not there.
Tell them again.
And this is the biggest part that we're trying to show all of you. Y'all got to learn this lesson. We are too busy planning our Juneteenth party. You're welcome. You're welcome to come, but you better bring a gift. The thing about this, though, when you hit me up and I just sat there and I go, we're looking at current events and we're looking at what's happening right now. And if someone took out my son, I don't know how I would feel.
All right, it wasn't the same cop, so he ran over a different cop than the one that shot his son.
A cop.
Yep,
So,
I don't think he cared. I don't think he cared which one it was.
He saw a boy in blue and he didn't care. It's tragic because, again, the person.
And of course, you feel bad for their family. Like you said, man. There's no. I don't think there's any. I was gonna say I don't think there's any.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Right or wrong way to feel about it, but
no.
I think the right way to feel is you should be pretty freaking conflicted.
Yeah.
I think that's the only answer. Like there is no right, wrong, black, white thing here. It's a very conflicting.
It's the
thing.
System failed, and this is us watching the system fail.
Yeah.
And by that I mean the entire system. We are watching the infrastructure of law and order collapsing. And that's what I'm taking from
Elena
it.
had a good point. She says him running over the cop got more coverage than the kid who was killed by the cops.
Yep.
And
And you know what? And that's the thing. It took Elena.
Yeah. With that, we're going to end. Before we end with our positive, we're going to end on. We're going to put an exclamation point on the racist assholes this week. We are pleasantly bringing back our "Stop Making Stupid People Famous" today.
This is good for season 2.
Yeah,
welcome
it's
back.
Our first one. Yeah.
Yes. Stop me.
We probably could have done a few since, but we just.
This one's worth it. this one's worth it.
Today's "Stop Making Stupid People Famous" person is Shiloh Hendricks. And if you want to know how that's spelled, for those of you listening, it's SHILOH Hendricks, HENDRIX. I encourage you to go find her, send her messages, let her know how you feel. She has, I think, 2 DUIs. She's also had, I think she was picked up for assault. So she's a real winner. This is the woman who many of you probably have already seen that raised almost $1 million after calling a 5-year-old autistic black kid the
N-word on the playground
for what she claims is the kid stole something out of her kid's diaper bag. What did he steal out of the diaper bag? Snacks? A diaper? The bottle? What, did you have something in there that was so expensive and so meaningful that you had to go on that tirade against that 5-year-old autistic black kid?
And it took a grown man. I feel like you're going to have a Ryan rant out of this. And you're rightfully so.
I'm not feeling very ranty tonight, but
I'm not mad at you for that.
This one definitely doesn't sit well with me. It's a Christian crowdfunding website. And the most interesting part about that is that they started a fundraiser for
500,000.
No, but this particular site was also used to raise money for one of the black kids that from like a couple months ago. I'd have to go back.
The high school with the track. Is that the one?
That might have been it.
The fight in the
Oh yeah, and the kid that stabbed the kid.
He used his
they tried raising money for him on this website, and the website either they shut it down or they limited it.
Did not know that. That is news to me, my friend. What blows me away about this is not only the fact that this woman became viral for racist language and attacking
and raised almost $1 million.
It is right now sitting at 700 or around 700,000. And the thing that is killing me is while you have all this happening with the police and all the stuff that you're watching and you're seeing the race relations in general in this country, you see this woman who is distraught. She's upset. She's calling this child, harsh language, where autistic, 5 years old, doesn't even know probably or comprehend. Dealing with a child myself, a toddler, doesn't comprehend a lot. Add on top of that being autistic. The fact that she's now claiming victimhood of how this is ruining her, and that's why this was started. And then to see it turn around where this website, this GoFundMe, or I'm sorry,
Give Send Go is the name of it.
Give Send Go. To see the amount of racism now in the filling of donations. So people who donate are then filling in like that, N-word deserved it, blah, 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 white power, all this. This is actually funding her. And for it to be
$784,000.
It was set originally for 500, and then after 48 hours, it was already at 3-something. They said they're going to change it to $1 million, and it's now where it currently stands. And this is the part where when we talk about looking at systemic racism, looking at how racist people are in this country, looking at how ugly people are in this country, this is a prime example. This woman should never be famous. I should never know her name. She should never be anybody important. She's probably going to drink the money away anyways. She's probably a horrible mother. I don't know her. I don't care to know her. But the fact that this person is almost about to raise $1 million for being racist tells you everything you need to know about where America stands in 2025.
Yep. And it's why I say all you Trump supporters can go fuck yourself. Because you don't care about my family, you don't care about my kids, you don't care. So, you're all fake as fuck. I live around a bunch of you. Fucking I can spot you a mile away. Just fake as fuck.
Shout out to my cousin Richard. I see you holding down Ohio.
Hey, you're just in time. We're about to sign off too, brother. So you're just in time.
Yeah.
What does he say? I hope her liver dies and she can't get a new one because of her racism.
Knowing her, she'll end up with a black liver. Okay, that's a reality.
There you go. Yeah, sorry. We only have this liver from this 40-year-old black man. Would you like it?
There actually was a story about a person who was racist who said they didn't want to receive
100%.
a black organ.
It's real.
And they said, okay,
I'd rather
you're being
die.
bumped down to the back of the list. And they go, no, that you can't do that. They go, our donor is black. You're telling me that you don't want anything black, right? And they're like, yeah, great. The donor is black, so you will be bumped down to the bottom, removed from the list, and we will be moving on without you. And it's like, wow. It's like, yeah, there you go.
Could you imagine like having so much hate in your heart that you're like, I would rather die?
I can't.
Than
and that's
have
why
an
I look
organ.
so young, because you know what? I drink water and I mind my fucking business. That's
See,
why.
I just stay inside.
Jen doesn't let me out. I stay inside.
Bro, I
You know what I
married
mean?
I married a woman that likes to stay home and read and enjoy life that way for
My
a reason.
wife kicked me out. Okay, she kicks me out and she says, "Get away from me. Go out. Go. Get out."
Well,
of here.
but you guys you guys have a small apartment in New York.
New York, man,
like
yeah.
I think if we had a small New York apartment, I think our
You
relationship
kicked out
would
a lot
be
more too.
Yeah, we've got a big enough house that I can kind of go over here. She can go over there.
What you're telling me is, if you lived in New York, you'd be on candid camera. Also, you'd be
I
caught
might
in
be
these streets.
divorced. I might be divorced.
Might be in these streets. Might be in these streets.
What's
But yeah,
your
man.
positive this week, brother?
My positive is I went and saw the movie Sinners by
Ooh.
Ryan Coogler,
Okay.
and I want to advocate for those who are huge fans of independent filmmakers. Even though he's making huge heavy hitters, he's been doing it on his own. Ryan Coogler is really a beast when it comes to this. He's been working with Michael B. Jordan for like 16 years. Fruitvale Station was their first film together right out of college. You're looking at he did Black Panther, which most people know him for Marvel.
Yep.
Well, this movie Sinners, there's a number of
Creed.
reasons why. Creed 1, 2. I don't know if he did all the
I
sequels.
think he did 3.
He
Oh no. Michael B. Jordan did that one. He directed that one.
Yes. And so, but he was a producer. They've been
He's still
together,
a producer,
doing their
though,
thing. So he's affiliated with it. But and then of course, Black Panther 2. He definitely has this great resume. Well, he did this movie Sinners that he's been sitting on for a long time. And the thing is with Sinners is it takes place in Mississippi in 1930, and so there's these undertones of America's rich racism that is
Yep.
there, and you're like, okay, this all exists, and but then there's the horror side where it's a vampire story, and it's beautifully done, but it touches on Black music, and it touches on, when I say that it's this is the American experience, but blues and how music transcends generations, and what the gift the Black community has always given to America, which has always been culture. And and whenever we see it taken, we recycle and we recreate and we find new art. And the thing that I found so
And then
beautiful
we take it
about
again.
this, and then we take it again. We take it again.
We take it again.
The game that we're going to play to the very end of time. And we'll see who outlasts who. And
It's
so
funny because it's true.
and so this beautiful movie and visual. I actually want to go back and see it because he did it a certain way. And there's a very long-winded way of saying that this man created a really amazing piece of art, and he shot it in 3 different formats, but the one I want to see is a 70 millimeter. So it's the biggest frame that you could see a film on. So you can see the whole landscape of how he wanted you to see this versus a tiny framed, here's your box office, normal standard viewing. I say all that to say to you that this movie transcends a lot more because he also made a deal in Hollywood. At the time of now we're hearing about these tariffs, Ryan struck a deal with the production house where he gets paid first, which no director really gets that deal. Usually it's you recoup after the movie house makes all of its money.
Yep.
So he's making money up front from his own film. And then after 25 years, the rights of this film will actually revert back to him, and he will be the sole owner of this film.
And his family.
And his estate. So this will now create generational wealth for him and his family because it will be
exactly
a
what
film
that deal
for
did.
him. And I want to give him all the credit, kudos, because a genius of our time at the level that I'm going to go and say that he's going to become the Scorsese, the Quentin Tarantino, the George Lucas of our generation.
He's already headed that way.
He's already there. And he penned a letter thanking not only the people in his corner, the people that he's worked with, the people that have helped build his career, but the people who've inspired him, and also the people who go to see his films, the fans. And he even talks about the community that's been built within what he's doing and how they allow him, the humble man that he is, that he really has given to all of us such great cinema and make us want to go to the movies. So it was a great experience all around.
I will say his humbleness is surprising, honestly. Hearing his interviews and the way he speaks and, the way he converses also with like his stars, like Michael B. Jordan and them guys, he just seems like a very solid, dedicated dude.
West Coast dude, man. West Coast from the Bay. He's there.
But like he's tapped into, the current culture and, but he's also making sure that he's going to be compensated for what he's delivering.
And
like when you've delivered film after film after film, because let's be honest, most of the films you listed off were good.
Yeah.
They weren't box office, trash or anything like that.
Right.
So, the man's delivered. And I think that's one of the reasons he was able to, pivot that into a getting paid first contract. Cause it's like, look, y'all know you're going to make money off of this.
Resume.
You're going to make money off of this. So
that's right.
I want my money first and then you guys can get yours.
And I give it to Ben Stiller, because, of course, all the media and everybody was like,
I loved that.
It's so good. And this is where I give a lot of credit to those who are heavy hitters who see the bullshit and call it out. But they were trying to say, oh, this black film only made 48. And it's like, Ben Stiller was like, what? First off, that's an amazing accomplishment for an opening film that has
for anybody,
no ties to anything. It's not a sequel. It's not a recreate. It's a fresh original script. And for that to make 48, he goes, who cares about black anything? This is an amazing accomplishment, period. And so for Ben Stiller to come out and put everybody on blast, that then shut up a lot of these critics who were talking that BS. So I give him a lot of shout out. And Stephanie, I've not seen Crossroads, but I definitely will add that to my list.
I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, I've been chasing a toddler and an infant, so I'm not getting out.
Yeah,
no.
So
this is my one.
You can ask Ian, I barely have time to breathe.
Yeah. So this is my one hall pass. I give a lot of shout out to my wife for honing it down so I can go do that. But
for sure.
Yeah. So it was great. It was great. So what's your positive?
My positive is it is almost summer. So Jen's last day of college was today.
Oh,
for the semester.
Okay.
And the kids will be done, I think the 21st. So like pools cleaned up. We're planning a little trip. We're gonna take the kids to the West Coast to go to the beach for a few days. So I'm just excited for the summer, man. I enjoy the summer, and I think we talked about it a little bit last summer. I'm just really trying to be like more present because these are the years I'm not gonna get back. The kids are 11 and 9. So like I really want to enjoy the summer and enjoy family time and I think right now with everything going on, I need it, for my mental health. We talked about my actual therapy sessions start up next week. So excited to start that and eager to, hopefully put some stuff that's been going on up here in the right place, and hopefully she can help me. Like I tell people, man, I hadn't been in talk therapy for like 5 years. You know, I have my family practice doctor who just writes my meds.
Yeah.
And I stopped going to talk therapy when we moved, and just with everything going on, and you know, I'm becoming a lot more busy with our podcast, with the business, with, you know, just everything going on.
A lot of stuff's growing here. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so it just I felt like I got to a point where I'm like, you know, I need like an oil change. I need to go in and, you know, maybe hopefully find some better coping tools. You know, the days where I'm feeling really overwhelmed, or
You better give them a Ryan rant. I'm just saying.
like I told her, I said, if you're a Trump supporter, this is going to be rough for you. So
better let them know, man.
Yeah.
And when I think about your kids, especially at this age, I call this the Sandlot phase. Because this is where, you know, and this is where I think about when we grew up. It's like, oh, you already knew where the house was because all the bikes were keeled
out
over,
front,
you know, out front. And so, but I know that this new generation doesn't
pool
really do
towels
that.
draped over everywhere.
Everywhere. But this is the land, the Sandlot phase, and I really think about those, like those summers, how amazing those were. That's really great.
Man. I was walking across, like when we get to the soccer fields, like we have to walk all the way across one of the fields to get our soccer goals. Because they actually split one soccer field will have four teams, you know, all practicing. So we were walking, and I was walking to go get him, and you know, I heard him running up behind me. Dominic ran up behind me, and he just, you know, snatched my hand to hold my hand while we walked. And I was just thinking while we were walking, I'm like, man, these are the times I'm going to look back at and just be really happy that I did these things, you know, that I took the time to coach, and I took the time to, you know, make sure the kids were doing what they enjoyed. And you know, Livy's, like I said, Livy's getting to the point where she's so into drawing, and she's so good at it. So it's like I'm all about promoting that with her right now. And so she
did this.
Yep, she did our logo. She fixed our logos up. Yep,
she's dope. She's dope.
Yeah, man. So the next one is, she told me yesterday, she's like, Dad, I don't know what to draw, and I found in a drawing book I bought her, I found the Statue of Liberty. I said, you draw me a version of the Statue of Liberty. I said, I'll put it on a shirt and we'll sell it. There it is. And then she goes, how much am I going to get per shirt? And I go, that's my girl.
You keep that going.
That's exactly the quote. That's the right question you should have asked.
Numbers. That's right.
Yep.
What's my cut? That's exactly it.
So that makes me a proud dad. And
that's
yeah, man.
I love
it.
But
yeah, other than that, so with all of you, thank you so much for your support. Ian and I appreciate you more than you know. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. You can download us on all of your favorite streaming platforms, which Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, we're all over. So there's no excuse. You can take us in the car. You can take us on your earphones, take us on the airplane. You really don't have an excuse.
Or you can just keep us in your pocket. It's up to you.
Or that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being in a few of your guys' pockets. Party at Ryan's. Hey, I wish we could have a big old party here. I wish Ian lived closer. No, but with that said, you know, there is a lot going on, guys. And I think here on this show, we have a good, because I like to focus on Trump and all the shit he's doing. And Ian really likes to focus on the other stuff. And because of that, I think we bring a good mix of stories for you guys every Wednesday. So definitely looking forward to more shows, looking forward to continuing to fight with you guys. And thank you so much for the support. We don't take it for granted. As always, much love, keep fighting, but most important, make sure you stay safe out there.